Let's do some SQL. Employees with the same salary. This question appeared in an Amazon interview. In this question, they're asking, find employees who earn the same salary. Output the worker ID along with the first name and the salary in descending order. So this question, we have this worker table, right? So let's look at that table real quick. And by the way, in this question, I'm using SQL. I'll also be doing the same problem using pandas as well. So stay tuned. So select star from worker. Let's run this. As you can see, we have 6 columns here. Salary column is the column that we are most interested in because they're asking for employees with the same salary, right? So what do they mean by that? Let's take an example here. Employee ID 8 and 9 have the same salary, right? 90,000. So those are the kind of records that they're looking for. So I'll be showing you here 2 approaches. Obviously, there are multiple approaches that you can take, but I'll be showing you 2 approaches here. The first one is going to be using group by, and the second one is going to be using window function. So let's begin. It's pretty simple. Select star from worker, right? Let's look at a count of salary, right? Let's see how many times one salary exists in this data set. So let's do select salary and let's do count. And obviously we are using count, so we gotta use group by, right? So group by salary. And let's see what we get. Let's make this capital here. Stay consistent. Let's run it. And as you can see, we have many counts here, right? So this salary 100,000 occurred only once. 85,000 only occurred once as well. 500,000 occurred 2 times in the data set. Same with 75,000. So we're only concerned with the records that have more than one count. Why is that? Because that means more than one employee had the same salary, right? So let's filter out records that only existed once, that only occurred once. So this will do that. Let's run it. And as you can see, we have 3 salaries now that existed or occurred more than once in the data set. 500,000, 75,000, 90,000, right? Let's put this into a CTE, common table expression, or a temporary table. And let's use this. So in the question, they're asking for worker ID, first name, and salary, right? So worker ID, salary, and first name. By the way, I'll be calling this from the main worker table here. From worker, where salary, you must be thinking when I'm going to be using this guy here, right? CTE, so it's going to be here, where salary in, and I'll be doing select salary from CTE1, right? So this is going to bring in the salaries, the 3 salaries we had, 500,000, 75,000, 90,000 from the CTE1 because we saved that output into CTE1. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Let's see. So now we have worker ID, first name, salary, and let's see if that's the right answer. And that is. Okay, so this was a pretty simple approach using group by. The second approach that I'll be taking here is using a window function. I love window functions, so I think they're pretty useful. So let's look at that approach now. So let's remove this. And what I'm going to be doing essentially, let's bring back our table here, select star from worker, and run it. Okay, we have these 6 columns here. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be adding a new column here, row number, because that's a type of window function anyway. I'll be adding a 7th column here called row number, which will contain the numbered rows, obviously, right? But I'll be doing a partition on the salary. So for example, what's going to happen is, let's pick a record. Okay, this one here. So 900,000, right? If I'm doing a row number on partition by salary, that means this is a partition, right? This is a partition. This is a partition, meaning one row will have a row number 1. The second row in this partition will have the row number 2, right? So essentially I'm looking for all the row numbers where the row number is 2. That means in that partition that existed twice, that salary existed twice. So it's kind of like the group by method, but I'm using a window function here. So let me show you real quick and you will get that idea. So let's add row number window function, row number over partition by salary, because we want to partition by salary, right? So we are kind of making those windows based on salary. So as I showed you 90,000, this was one window. If 75,000 exists more than once, which we saw earlier, 75,000, 70,000, that'll be one window, and we will do a row number on those records inside that window. So let's run this. And as you can see here, we have our new column here, row number, right? And as you can see, row number is 2 here. That means this existed twice here. So this was one window because we partitioned it by salary. 1, 2. Let's see where else we have another partition. Here, this was one partition, right? And we had 1 and 2. That's why we have row number 2 there. And down below here, as you can see, for worker IDs 4 and 5, we have a partition based on this salary, 500,000, and we have a row number of 2 there too. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's put this into a CTE here with CTE1, and again let's do something similar what we did earlier. Select, we'll be using worker table, obviously. I'm gonna put it there, and this is going to be worker ID, first name, and salary. Where salary n? Let's pick our salary from our CTE. So select salary from CTE1, where row number column equals 2. So it will only pick those salaries, right? And let's run it. As you can see, we have these records. Let's see if that's the right answer. And that is the right answer. So again, I showed you 2 different approaches, one using the group by, another using row number window function. You can choose whichever one you want. I think group by is a little bit easier to understand. So if you feel that way, go with that.